Hello everyone and welcome to Positive Inspirational News Network. My name is Jared James Pedersen, putting this show together for you to bring you good news from around the world. Now, this is the very first broadcast of Positive Inspirational News Network, so you can expect to see and receive more good news coming to you on a regular basis in future videos. One of the reasons that I decided to create this video and this Positive News Network was because I saw huge demand and need for it. Obviously, when we turn on the television and we look at the news there, 99.9% of the time it is not positive, uplifting, or empowering. And I truly believe, and there's been a lot of confirmations of this over the past couple of weeks, I truly believe that there is a huge market of people, very much like yourself who are watching this video, who truly want to see and hear about and feel positive news stories. Anytime we hear a positive news story, we get inspired. We say, hey, that's a good idea. Maybe I can do something like that. And we begin to take action in our own life. So I believe millions and millions and millions of people from around the world are thirsty for positive inspirational news. So that's what this channel and this medium is here to be for you. I have a few news stories that I'm going to be sharing with you which are positive, uplifting, and inspirational. And before I share those with you, I just want to share a little bit of an update that I've done recently that partly inspired this news network. And I recently went to an event thanks to the beautiful, wonderful Kyle Cease, stand-up comedian and personal development student and fan, and he actually put on a contest. All you had to do was tweet him a joke and you would be entered to win free tickets to this event that was called the Global Alliance for Transformational Entertainment, I believe. And it was GATE, and it was a really, really beautiful event. Eckhart Tolle was there, Jim Carrey was there, Kyle Cease, of course, was there, Barbara Marx Hubbard, Don Miguel Ruiz. It was a really, really powerful event, and so when I found out that I won tickets to this event, I just knew that I had to go. And so, I took inspired action with that. Got a person to go down with me, Mr. Michael Grady. It was a great road trip. We went down there, got to meet Kyle Cease, got to meet some other amazing, wonderful people, and really got to experience factually that there is a market of people for this type of information, for empowering media, for uplifting news stories that inspire people to take action in their own lives, and a variety of other things that you'll be able to see and experience either through this network or some of the people that we promote. Now, if you are interested in staying updated and getting the latest videos that we put out and uplifting positive news, this Positive Inspirational News Network is actually brought to you by freedomandinformation.com. So if you want to go to freedomandinformation.com, you can, and sign up as a member absolutely free, where you will be delivered videos like this one with upcoming episodes, as well as other news and positive information directly into your email inbox. So all you have to do is go to freedomandinformation.com, freedomandinformation.com, and you can go and sign up absolutely free and become a member of freedomandinformation.com. Go ahead and do that right now. So what I'm going to be sharing with you next is a couple of positive news stories. So I have a few of them here. I'm not sure how long this video is going to end up being, but I just wanted to share a couple stories here with you to uplift you and inspire you to really think about, what's possible and what's really going on in the world. It's funny because Kyle Cease says that. He says when you turn on the news, you hear about one plane that may have crashed. And so on this one occasion, this one plane crashed, and all of the news and everyone has to know about it. Then he says, wouldn't it be funny if they had all of the planes that landed successfully, they had news people out there with the cameras and people looking to report on the news that the plane landed successfully. And there were thousands of them that landed successfully today and that will do today. But the news doesn't talk about that. But what if they did? And they started interviewing people like, oh my God, you made it. How was it? How was it? How was the journey? As if that news was actually news. And because it happened, it is. And so these are just some of the interesting stories that have actually happened. They are news, and now we get to share them and hear about them through the Positive Inspirational News Network. So the first story is a mom who's criticized for letting her kid walk alone transforms town. And basically what this story says, and I'm going to be able to share all the links to these stories in the video description or on the post here somewhere, so you'll be able to see these stories for yourself and read them in more detail. But this story specifically is a mom in a small Mississippi town let her 10-year-old son walk alone to soccer practice, which was less than a mile away. So when she first did this, police officers stopped her son and said, you know, what are you doing out here? You need to be with someone. This is dangerous. You need to be, you know, with an older person to walk you. And so, you know, obviously he was probably upset by that. But anyway, he goes to, you know, his mom, and his mom says, basically talks to the police commissioner and says, you know, are we really living in a town where my son can't walk alone? She's like, I think, you know, we live in a more peaceful neighborhood than that. And then so the police commissioner says, you know, oh, you know, you're right. I apologize for the officer's actions. And so, you know, she continued to let him walk alone to soccer practice. And it says the local newspaper believed its own version of reality, saw foul play around every corner. They wrote, the fact remains that things are different now. The days of Andy Griffith's Mayberry and Leave It to Beaver are gone. However, Lori set out to prove such fears were unnecessary. She even lobbied for and won an ordinance that now provides sidewalks anytime road or neighborhood construction is undertaken. Well, this past week, or a few weeks ago now, depending on when exactly this news story came out, but very recently, the newspaper editorial board finally came around saying we should feel safe in our own neighborhoods. Then they called for more discretion with regards to calls to 911, and they said, it seems we've all gotten paranoid. They suggested that just because you see teens loitering on the corner or a 10-year-old walking alone doesn't mean trouble is brewing. So isn't that interesting? How a positive perspective from this mom in a small town in Mississippi was able to shift the perspective of her entire town and the media of that town more specifically. By simply understanding that, hey, we don't need to be fearful. I believe in the people of this city, in this area. I believe that we live in a peaceful area. And they just happen to agree eventually. But isn't it interesting that a positive perspective can transform an entire city? And more importantly, the actual media, which can sometimes be more challenging to transform as opposed to just the people that are living in the city. So very, very cool story. The next one is $1 million lottery winner won't quit her waitress job. So, you know, most times when we hear people won the lottery, they're quitting their job and they're going to take a cruise or they're going on a trip or whatever it is. But this waitress, because she loved her job and still loves her job, that's why she's keeping it. She absolutely loves what she does, and so she's going to continue to do that. And it makes you think, because if we're in, you know, personal development and positive awareness, do we understand that we're in a good mood? When we're happy, good things happen to us. And so isn't it interesting that a lottery winner loves her job, is probably doing something that she enjoys most of the time, happened to win the lottery. And what was interesting is when you read the article, and you know, again, the links will be in the post or in the video description for you to read. But she said, you know, I just had a feeling about the ticket that I bought today. I had a feeling about this ticket. So her inner wisdom, her guidance, her intuition told her that something was going to be different about this ticket today that she bought. And that happened to be her winning ticket. It's a beautiful confirmation for the power of feeling good and the power of trusting your inner voice and your intuition. It's telling you things all the time. Are you listening? Yes, who knows where it's going to lead you, so continue to follow your intuition. It might lead you to a better place. So another positive news story is at a coffee shop, acts of kindness are at the top of the menu. And what this talked about was a coffee shop in South Carolina. Something interesting happened there one day. A person came in, ordered a coffee, and paid with a $100 bill and said, you know, just keep this and use it for everyone that orders after me up until the $100 is used. So what happened is the next few people that started, you know, ordering their drinks, they realized that they didn't have to pay. the people behind the counter said, no, no, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. Someone else had paid for you previously. And because of that pay it forward action by one person, other people started getting inspired. More people would come into the coffee shop, wouldn't even buy coffee, but would give them a $100 bill or give them a 20 or give them money to pay for the next people in line that were going to be buying drinks. So word started getting around, and you think about this, people would be giving $100 to this business, even if the business, or even if the person didn't purchase anything from the business. He's basically giving this company, this business, $100 for other people who will be doing business with this company. And then so the actual customers who were buying something but didn't need to pay, they loved the idea and started getting inspired and thought, well, hey, if I'm already paying, $3 or $4 or $5 or whatever for this drink, I already thought I was going to pay, so why don't I just pay for the next person? And so that started going on as this pay it forward mentality, and it just started, catching fire. And I saw it was on MSNBC or something. I'll have the link right here, but I believe that one was on MSNBC. And so, it really goes to show you the power of one positive act can transform an entire community and potentially millions and millions of people. And we're seeing that this is actual proof. These news stories are actually happening. So this is positive inspirational news. It's great. I love it. This is why I'm sharing this with you. So again, you can go ahead and read those stories in the posts below. And one more news story that I wanted to share with you before I get into the next topic is this one that I found very, very interesting. So it says, gamers redesign a protein that stumped scientists for years. And what this one talks about is, it actually says before they did redesigning this protein through gaming, which I'm going to share about, but there was even one before that blew me away, and it said the success of last September of video gamers to solve the elusive riddle of an HIV enzyme within 3 weeks. And they are astonishing, these scientists, of how fast these video gamers are coming to these conclusions and solving problems and issues in the biochemistry field. So it says, players of the online puzzle game FoldIt have redesigned an enzyme model by fiddling with folding proteins on their home computers in search of the best scoring, lowest energy patterns. And Justin Siegel is a postdoctoral researcher working in biophysics in the Baker's Group, said, I worked for 2 years to make these enzymes better, and I couldn't do it. FoldIt players were able to make a large jump in structural space, and I still don't fully understand how they did it. So this guy who is an expert in this field, who's been trying to do this for 2 years and hasn't been successful with it, and these video gamers that are probably having fun doing what they love, are able to crack the code of this enzyme, and they've done it with HIV enzymes, they're doing it with this protein. They're solving these challenges, these big problems in the biochemistry field in a matter of weeks by simply having fun and making a game out of it. Imagine what can be done in other fields when you can give people an opportunity, give creative people an opportunity to solve the world's problems. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine people logging onto their computer, going to a website similar to FoldIt or another website that allows them to creatively use their gifts in problem solving, in creative thinking, in innovation, where they can get the information that is where the person or the company or the entity is at, and then say, asking them some questions and getting their opinions as far as what would you do to solve this issue. Win a prize by answering. So hello, you can incentivize people to solve the world's problems, to solve a community's problems. It's very often more easier and simpler to solve a community's or a city's problem as opposed to a country's problem. So, what if you could go and play a game to solve problems in your area, in your life, in your house, with your job situation, with your health situation? What if there were fun ways to resolve and dissolve illness and poverty? I believe there is. And this one news story inspires that thought. This one video can inspire that thought. You sharing this with someone else, you taking one bit of what was shared in this video, you just use one bit, implement that into your life, and you can inspire the planet. This is true. This is true. So these are just some things for you to consider. You can read over these. Oh, and just one more thing about the FoldIt. It says FoldIt games are devised by the computer science and engineering departments at the University of Washington to put players' intuitions to work on problems for researchers in fields like biochemistry. So these universities are creating games for people to use their intuition to solve problems that they themselves cannot solve. So that should tell you something. That should tell you that the power of an individual person, their intuition, their passions, their skills, and their willingness to take action to create a better society. This is very exciting. If you want to learn more about this, and if you want to stay tuned for more news that's going to be coming from this, again, go to freedominformation.com and sign up as a member absolutely free, and you'll be able to get future videos as well as more exciting news and updates that we receive based on what we share here with you. So that wraps it up for the news stories, but I would like to share one more thing with you, which is the 12 things that happy people do differently. Now this is a pretty exciting list, and you may want to take notes, or what you can do is watch this video again and again and again to make sure that the positive news is getting in. A lot of times, even if we aren't directly watching TV, if people in our house are watching TV, that can get into our subconscious mind, and we can begin to hear things that we may not be choosing consciously to want to hear. Or just being around other people that watch the news. They're going to be talking about this. They're going to be talking about the issues that are on the news and, why everything is not working out for them or whatever that may be. So watching videos like this over and over and over again are going to be able to more deeply impact your mind and your neural pathways in your brain to think more positively. This is going to make a positive impact in your life. Just watching this video, sharing this video, talking about this video with other people, and really building groups of people that can share positive inspirational news. And begin looking for positive inspirational news. See how you can find inspirational news elsewhere. Do research on the internet and find positive inspirational news. What's good happening in the world? More planes have landed successfully. Let's go interview someone and say, how was the successful plane flight for you? Anything can be positive, even if it's funny and you don't think it's gonna, positively impact someone. Doing something always has an impact on someone, even if it's just yourself. So remember to go ahead and just take action. Have fun. That's part of why I created this video, is just to have fun sharing some good news with you. So this is beautiful. So now let's get into the 12 things that happy people do differently. So number 1, express gratitude. When you appreciate what you have appreciates in value. And there's a lot that can go with that, but the bottom line is, when you feel appreciation and gratitude for anything that you have, anything that you can experience, anything that you can become aware of, when you are grateful and appreciative for that, what you're doing is you're activating appreciation vibrations and causing more of that to come into your life, more things for you to be grateful for. I can't tell you more about that in this video because this is I don't have 2 hours to share that with you as to why that works, but feeling appreciation will have a major positive impact in your life. Try it and you will see. Number 2 is cultivate optimism. Here it talks about winners have the ability to manufacture their own optimism. Very, very powerful. The word, they have the ability to manufacture their own optimism. So what that means is they're not at effect of the world. They are at cause in their reality, and they are manufacturing their own optimism. They are creating their own positive perspective. Things may happen and you can say, well, how is that good? That can't be good. However, do not be a victim or don't be at effect of what's being said or talked about around you. Be at cause. Find the gold. Find the positive in what's going on, no matter where you are. Find the positive. Create, manufacture your own optimism. And you will see positive things begin springing up like you hadn't seen before. Number 3 is avoid overthinking and social comparison. Basically, it says if you feel called to compare yourself to something, what you may want to do is compare yourself to an earlier version of yourself. Because I say when you start comparing yourself to other people, you start thinking better, worse, am I better than them, am I worse than them, different. You start seeing separation, and it's just not the best way to continue to feel good and be uplifting and happy. Number 4, practice acts of kindness. And it says performing an act of kindness releases serotonin in your brain. Serotonin is a substance that has tremendous health benefits, including making us feel more blissful. That's beautiful. And this is a funny and fun one. Even bystanders will be blessed with a release of serotonin just by watching what's going on. So if they're watching an act of kindness that you are doing, for example, if you're paying for someone else's drink, or anything in public where you're doing an act of kindness in a public place where other people are around and they happen to see, they're going to be experiencing a release of serotonin in their brain, in their body, just as if they were doing the act like you will. So that's a pretty powerful statement, especially when you know that serotonin helps us feel more blissful. It helps raise our vibration. We begin to feel better, even if we're just watching an act of kindness. So imagine, what if you just went out and you helped one person, or if you just went into a coffee shop and bought a drink. You stood in line and then you paid for a drink. You don't even have to order anything, but just pay for a drink for the person behind you. Imagine what that's going to do for everyone in that store. The people working there are going to see it. The people standing in line behind you are going to see it. Imagine. You can change your entire day. You can change the entire course of the rest of your life just by doing that one simple thing. So practice acts of kindness. Number 5 is nurture social relationships. Basically, this talks about the happiest people on the planet are the ones that have deep and meaningful relationships. So go to events, meet like-minded people, connect with people. It's going to be really beneficial for you. I'll just run through the rest of these. We have number 6 is develop strategies for coping. So basically what that means is, when things happen, it says even Forrest Gump knows the deal. It can be hard to come up with creative solutions in the moment when measure is making its way up toward the fan. It helps to have healthy strategies for coping, pre-rehearsed, on-call, and in your arsenal at disposal. So one great example is actually called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique. It's also a series of tapping that you do on different points. It's based on Roger Callahan's work, the Callahan technique. One of his students, Mr. Craig, he started EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. So this is a really, really powerful technique for being able to clear out blocks, or you're feeling bad in some way. You can use this process, this series of tapping, to really just clear out these negative energy patterns that are within your body, and they're within virtually everyone's physical body. And when you tap these on different energy meridian points, you're basically clearing out these blocks or these memories that are within your body to help you, get past fears. If you have fear of speaking in front of people or talking with people, you can just think about that. Think about whatever you're afraid of, whatever you're fearful of, whatever you're upset about, and just think about that and feel it, and then start tapping on these different points. When you look at the website, you can go to I believe is a good website that you can learn more about this. But yeah, once you start tapping on these points, you're gonna feel better in like 2-3 minutes. You're gonna feel transformationally improved, and it's really, really powerful. So I encourage you to check that out. So the next couple of ones I'm just going to read through because I realize we're getting close to a 30-minute mark here. So I'll just read the rest of these really quickly. So learn to forgive, increase flow experiences, savor life's joys, commit to your goals, practice spirituality, and take care of your body. Now these are very, very important, and I want to make sure that you get a chance to read through these. So go ahead and you can see the links that are either within this post or within the video description right below this video. You'll be able to see the links to all of these stories, and you'll be able to check them out. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this positive, inspirational news broadcast. And it's really going to be the start of something powerful and something amazing, assuming that people like you that are watching this video take action in some way, whether it's just clicking like to like this video, if it's just clicking share to share this video with your friends, with your networks, if it's just taking an idea about buying someone else a cup of coffee that they don't know, where you can go in and just pay for the next person in line. Doing anything like that is going to make these videos continue so that more people can watch, so that more people can be inspired, can feel good, and can inspire those around them, so that we can create the positive change that we already know is here. So thank you very much. This is Jared James Pedersen for the Positive Inspirational News Network on behalf of freedomandinformation.com. Go ahead and go to freedomandinformation.com right now and sign up to become a member absolutely free. And again, if you feel inspired, go ahead and post a comment below and let me know, what you thought of this news show, what you liked about it, what you'd like to see next. If you have some positive news you'd like to share, go ahead and type that in as well. And go ahead and share this video as well. I mean, if more people need to see this type of information. So you can go ahead and create a positive impact in the world, in your world, in many ways, by simply sharing this video on Facebook, on Twitter. And so I encourage you to take just one step forward, just one, based on what you've seen here today. It's really up to you. Each person has the ability to positively transform their own life. You have that ability. So manufacture your own optimism and see where it takes you next. Thank you very much. This is Jared James Pedersen, and I'll see you next time.